The adaptation has been in film since the dawn of film itself. Some are good, and some are bad. But because they are an adaptation of a property, albeit books, games, or comics, the fans start picking sides and basing their opinions off of trivial things. That is why today I am going to take off the rose-tinted glasses of nostalgia and look at adaptations from an unbiased perspective when bias is the overwhelming majority. Dragon Ball Evolution is trying to be two different kinds of movies and fails to be both. A comedy movie and an action movie. There are movies that can be both, but this movie's neither. So, the movie starts off with a backstory of how Piccolo and Ozaru nearly conquered the Earth until they managed to capture Piccolo in some pottery. And then Ozaru just disappears for no reason, and then balance is restored. Then the title screen comes up and fades into the lovely face of our main protagonist, Goku, and his grandfather Gohan practicing fighting on a clothing line to show how cool they are. This doesn't matter because this is just a show of force of how good the fighting is, but it doesn't really matter because it just ends and then looks really bad. That's what I want to see in an action movie, really bad action. And anticlimactic fights, wow. So good. After the fight, Gohan goes on to lecture Goku over the fact that he has trouble with ki, and then he tries to demonstrate it, and then it's just like fucking air.
Use your ki.
After this such great demonstration, they converse about Goku's non-existent social life and how he is treated at school, and his frustration with it. His really poorly acted frustration with it.
Everybody at school treats me like I'm nothing, Grandpa.
You're special, Goku.
No, I'm different. I know that, and they know that too. They push me so far that I want to explode. Yo, I could tear them.
Just as Goku is about to walk away, gives him a Dragon Ball. So the next scene is Goku going to school. While in the parking lot, it cuts so many times it could just give you like a fucking headache. It cuts like 4 times in 10 seconds. And so when Goku gets to school, his bike gets run over. And, you know, he blames the guy who ran his bike over. But really, he's taking up a whole parking spot and he passes by where the bikes go. It doesn't really matter, it's just used as a plot device to set up the bully, and so the bully taunts Goku into hitting him, but Goku shows restraint and then angsts his way into the class. And then we meet our villain, Piccolo, just throwing energy down from a fucking plane. We follow the beam of energy that he's throwing down into a shot of a village being rampaged by someone in a red leotard looking for a Dragon Ball. So she searches for the Dragon Ball, and she finds the Dragon Ball and gets it from some lady, and there's no subtitles when they talk, so it doesn't really make sense. For some reason, Piccolo thought, might as well come down. It's not like I have minions for something. As the person in the red leotard shoots the woman, it transitions into Goku learning about solar eclipses, and he fantasizes about the girlfriend of the bully, Chi-Chi. When he wakes out of his fantasies, he explains what his family believes about solar eclipses.
What might our ancestors say about the upcoming solar eclipse?
Oh, well, my grandfather would say beware of the Nemeks.
Nemeks.
Yeah, they're an alien race that nearly destroyed Earth over 2,000 years ago.
Let's hope it doesn't happen again.
After class, he just like uses his airbending to open some lockers, and then Chi-Chi invites Goku to her party, and then like it feels so forced when they interact with each other, and it's always like this throughout the whole film.
Right, because there's a lot stupider names than Chi-Chi. I'm not saying that Chi-Chi's a stupid name, I'm just saying that it's not normal. But normal's overrated. I'm not saying that you're stupid or overrated, I'm gonna stop.
When Goku goes home to get ready for the party, he puts gel in his hair, even though there's already gel, because it's spiked up. So, what's the point? What's the point of doing this? Honestly, is it just for comedic effect? It's not very funny.
Awaits.
He goes to the party without telling his grandfather and sees the bully and his friends, and they try to lure him into fighting, but when the first punch was thrown, I was surprised that he had been written to show restraint in the fight scene. That was somewhat clever. And the fact that the bullies themselves were destroying the head bully's car unintentionally. Even though the beginning of the fight is awkward, it gives character and it's well shot and executed. That's the best thing I'm gonna give this film. Don't get too excited. That was the peak for this action. It's all downhill from here. The subsequent scene is Goku entering the party with Chi-Chi and just loud and banging music. This is where we see their interactions and their development. Goku and Chi-Chi's romance grow, and it feels very forced every time they talk. But the scene ends weirdly, where they just laugh at a parrot like squawking for no reason. It's really awkward, and it does not get any better. The next scene is Gohan meditating, and then the girl with the red leotard coming in and throwing a couple ninja stars. After not being able to hit him, Piccolo just comes in and fucking chokes him. You know, you could have just done that in the first place, and then he just crushes the house, or he could have just done that. What the fuck? But he never uses these abilities again. Goku figures out that his grandpa's in danger when he stares at the moon. What the fuck? As he runs into the house, they use too many shots when they could just use like 1 or 2. They use 5. Gohan asks Goku about the Dragon Ball, and he pulls it out, and then he just gets random flashes. I don't know why these random flashes didn't happen earlier in the film. It makes no sense. It happens later in the film when he touches 2 other Dragon Balls, but why not his initial touch on the Dragon Ball? Why not every touch on the Dragon Ball? It doesn't make sense. Gohan tells Goku to find Master Roshi just as he is about to die. After laying his grandfather to rest, he searches his house in awe. What? No. What? He hears a noise, and it's Bulma. She's also looking for a Dragon Ball, and it's also conveniently taken by the same person who tried to take theirs, so they're like, alright, let's join up. And she's like, alright. Then they go to a city. When they get to the city, Goku senses his grandfather, because his grandfather is exactly like Roshi, apparently. But this line is just throwaway, because Bulma just finds a Dragon Ball, so it doesn't matter. And after this, there's an unnecessarily long shot of them driving. With a shot like that, it's usually implying something, but with this, it's not. He wakes up Master Roshi and they start fighting. Goku uses the move that Gohan used. What? Even though he was never taught about it? And then he's like, even though he has no way of inferring that they're good disciples, you know, you can have bad people be disciples still. You know that, right? Like, it could be anyone who broke into your house, and it so happens to be this very general move that you recognize it as, but that really doesn't matter, just as long as it moves the plot along. Alright. So, Goku tells Roshi about Gohan's dying wish, and they look for the Dragon Ball. When Goku picks up the Dragon Ball, he gets the same flashes. This is still used inconsistently, and these flashing images really don't mean anything. Like, most of them don't even happen in the film. But it doesn't matter. He's the chosen one, guys. He's the chosen one.
If the prophecy is true, in 7 days, the sun will be eclipsed by the blood moon. That will be the beginning of the apocalypse.
Roshi, don't be crazy. You said it yourself. It's a nursery rhyme.
Yes, because before tonight, I could make no sense of it. But see, you are the key, somehow. Gohan knew it. That's why he...
Doesn't matter. Okay, so on to the next scene. Piccolo literally lifting up a fucking lake to find a Dragon Ball. What the fuck? How does Piccolo have godlike abilities? Why does he need the Dragon Balls in the first place? The Dragon Ball wish wouldn't be really useful to him. Like, he wants to be the ruler of Earth through the Dragon Balls, when he could just do that. As we've seen him literally wipe out a village, and literally lift up a lake. Why does he need the Dragon Balls? What is stopping him from conquering the world? Is he just lazy or something? I think it would have taken more effort to find the Dragon Balls than to actually conquer the Earth. He could have just done that instead of collecting the Dragon Balls. And if he's grasping for immortality, even though he's never said that, even later in the film, they never say his goal is immortality, why doesn't he conquer the Earth and then go for the Dragon Balls? Because if you conquer the Earth first, it'll be easier to collect the Dragon Balls, because then you'll have no one in your way. And then you can just have other people collect the Dragon Balls for you. Come on! And even at this point in the film, he has no expressed desire of what he's gonna do with the Dragon Balls. He's like, I'm just gonna collect them. And then we only find out like one throwaway line that says, become the ruler of the earth. The next scene transitions into the gang when they arrive at the training spot. They find it to be crowded. So we get Chi-Chi fighting some random guy. It doesn't really matter. And it's just irrelevant. And she is also completely over her boyfriend, who we never see in the rest of the film, by the way, just letting you know that. So they decide to leave. Then Bulma finds a Dragon Ball on her radar, and they get stuck in a pit, and then they get introduced into the new character, Yamcha. So Yamcha is extorting them. So Roshi convinces Yamcha to join for money. Oh good, at least we have some motivation in the character. Good on you, film. You did it. Well, you made a character with a personality. Congratulations. Hopefully he doesn't lose it.
Then your effort will improve.
Now you're talking, bro.
As they're excavating, that Goku is being trained, but there's no reason for him to know who he is. So Piccolo decides to send down some minions, and he creates them with his blood. Wait, then why does he need Red Leotard Lady if he can just use his blood? That doesn't make sense. As the blood is being extracted, he grunts, and then the camera zooms like 4 times, and then it cuts around. It's confusing. And then he creates whatever that shit is. So the area that they are looking for the Dragon Ball in looks like a cheap volcano set that really doesn't look like a cave, because... Wait, is there no roof? Why can't they see it if they dug below ground and not above? Why is the sky visible? Why is anything in this scene not seen in the other scene beforehand? It looks fake as fuck. So Yamcha spots the Dragon Ball, and then while he's up there, he gets ass blasted. Whoa! It's the best comedy, guys. 10 out of 10. Best of the millennium. Best comedy. Then Piccolo's minions show up, and the practical effects look really choppy and just awful in general. This is only one of the 2 times that practical effects are even noticeable in this film. Goku realizes that he can use the minions as flotation devices, and when he gets to the other side, there's the lady in the red leotard. He punches the leotard lady. They say, we're going here, and then she hears them, and then Goku tells Roshi about the flash of Into the Future. Now, Roshi decides to go to some temple where we see Ernie Hudson playing in the sand, trying to look like a monk. He needs money, okay? Ghostbusters was hard. So Piccolo's minion, Leotard Lady, and Chi-Chi are fighting in the tournament that she mentioned earlier, and then the fight ends when Leotard Lady just cuts Chi-Chi and gets herself disqualified. So Yamcha and Bulma are contemplating the future and if they even have one, and it progresses into some awkward romance with a tension that they didn't even have in the first place. While I was watching this scene, okay, I noticed that one of the extras was staring at them and not really blending in, and it just caught my focus more than this whole dialogue and awkward romance. Goku and Roshi are practicing their airbending, and Roshi tries to teach him the Kamehameha wave, because fuck it, there's no time left, even though you wasted hours in that pit. So he demonstrates his airbending abilities, or ki. Wait, are these 2 things the same? Like, moving air currents and using energy built up inside you are 2 different things. One is controlling energy and one is harnessing the wind. They should not be the same thing. Yet how are they so intertwined? You see this throughout the movie, not disparaging between the 2 terms and the relation of those 2 terms. And it's important because it's the main center point of the development of Goku's abilities. But only hears a noise, and it's Chi-Chi, but Chi-Chi has the Dragon Balls. So Chi-Chi shoots a laser blast that causes a fire, and then the other Chi-Chi shows up and they fight. While they are fighting, Bulma and Yamcha not go through the fire, because, you know, they'll catch fire, and they'll probably get burned. But Goku is Goku, so he jumps over the flame, and isn't hurt. And then Goku gets in the fight, and picks the wrong Chi-Chi, and then gets shot. Roshi comes in instantly to revive him with the Kamehameha wave. With the movie's logic, I don't even think this is how you use the Kamehameha wave. While Goku is dead, he sees a vision of his grandfather and he's like, you're not dead yet. And then they find out that Piccolo has all the Dragon Balls. And then Roshi instantly knows where they are going to go.
They have all 7 Dragon Balls.
Dragon Temple. That's where he will resurrect.
So Roshi knows that they're going for the Dragon Temple, and Yamcha instantly knows, because he has to from the general direction that he's pointing into, because it's apparently that obvious.
Now where am I going? Dragon Temple! We have to get there before the eclipse.
Cuts back to Piccolo putting the Dragon Balls together, and he's expressing his relief of being released, and he's been waiting for this day, but not really emoting while saying his dialogue. And he says it pretty poorly too, because they had to literally edit in 2 takes together of the same line.
I take my vengeance upon the earth.
It's so obvious that the actor who is playing Piccolo looks bored and is sounding bored through his dialogue, and it just creates for a very boring, flavorless, bland villain. The other actors in the movie try. Granted, they try, okay? But no, he's just like bored in every scene he's in. He looks bored, except for that one time he had to like grunt. He's not given a lot to work with, but even when actors aren't given a lot to work with, they can still add charm and charisma in their delivery, like a Master Roshi. You know, he's not the best written character, but he makes his character stand out. But Piccolo is just boring, and he's flat and stiff like cardboard. Suddenly, the tower emerges out of the ground, not before the quality drop to the opening of Castlevania Symphony of the Night, and then it cuts back to not being horrendous. After this happens, the car that Roshi, Bulma, Yamcha, and Goku are in becomes a flying car out of nowhere. Why didn't they just use this in the first place? Why didn't they use this when they were in the pit? They could have just flew out of the pit with the car. So, while they're in the car, Roshi performs a drive-by with his airbending ki and knocks the Dragon Balls out of order. Then Piccolo jumps. It's not CGI, guys. It's not. Trust me. Trust me, it's not CGI. Goku emerges and is wearing the gi that was previously shown, which really doesn't mean much. You know, they could have set up the importance of the gi. From a blind perspective, it doesn't make any sense. Goku emerges with this very bland score.
Rock.
I will defeat Ozaru, and I'm here to destroy you.
Defeat Ozar.
And then it just transitions awkwardly when Piccolo says,
You will become Ozar.
and Goku's reaction is with this face. Oh god. Alright, so then the sun eclipses the moon, and Goku pushes out our shit really hard. And then Piccolo says that he traveled in a meteor for thousands of years, and then he was born again because he would wait until his 18th birthday, even though he was alive 2,000 years ago. And the meteor, which is unexplained why he is a child, nor in a meteor in the first place. It's just a really bad explanation. He just said that he was dormant in the meteor, even though he came from the meteor and wreaked havoc with Piccolo on Earth. So he must have either went back into the meteor, and then he didn't age? Why was he a baby? Was he a baby when they dominated the Earth? Okay, I know I said this again, but even the way Piccolo said birthday was still kind of spliced together.
Until your 18th birthday.
This should be hung up in a fucking museum, this clip. Oh my god. Piccolo commands him to get a Dragon Ball, and the animation just looks straight out of the original King Kong movie from 1933. Roshi tries to put Piccolo in them, and it's just a swirling mess of air that just looks like he's trying to flush Piccolo down a toilet. That weird toilet gets clogged up by Piccolo, shooting it easily, which he could have done the whole time he was in. Ozaru has the ability to change his size, apparently. 6 to 7 feet when tackling Yamcha, but when he comes out, he's like 20 to 30 feet tall. Then Roshi grabs a human-sized leg, which is supposed to be Goku, you know, when he's 20 to 30 foot tall, and he's a giant gorilla. And it's just really apparent. And he says that
Ozaru can be beaten with fists. Only with faith.
Faith in fucking what? What is fucking faith gonna do? But somehow it still works, even though it's just like, it's not fate. It's fucking mental power. I'm sorry, but in this scenario, the only thing that could beat Ozaru is mental strength. So Goku manages to beat Ozaru, and the transformation is the same clip that they used for the transformation into it, reversed.
Impossible.
Something my grandfather taught me. First rule is,
there are.
Watch it, guys. A reference to the beginning again. Does it make any sense? No. Fucking no. What do you expect at this point? But guys, we know who to root for in the fight because Piccolo's airbending key, whatever, is red and Goku's is blue. How clever. In the beginning of the fight scene, at least the camera work is steady, but the problem is they cut every 3 seconds when they could just have like one steady shot. You know, as the action's getting really good, guys, it cuts back to Bulma fighting the leotard lady, and then she cannot hit a fucking shot to save her life. Back to Piccolo and Goku, okay? They're charging at each other, holding hands as they fly up. How cute! Okay, they're punching another, but with airbending key punches, and they somehow manage to push each other off. Like, it just looks so fucking weird. This is really bad. Goku realizes that he must be 2 to be 1, then shouts for no reason. And then Piccolo's also in the air, and then they charge up energy beams. Oh, sorry, air beams, and then they battle it out. Goku flies towards Piccolo, and then, like, what? Why? It doesn't make sense why he just fly up, but it manages to kill Piccolo, or knock out Piccolo, or dead, or whatever at this point. They mourn over Roshi's death, and then they begin the ritual to summon the dragon. Why didn't Piccolo just do this while they were trying to catch up to Piccolo? He had plenty of time, he was just contemplating. So they used their Dragon Witch. What would you do? Would you A, save someone you met a couple days ago, B, kill a almighty, powerful being, or C, get rid of Piccolo, then scour the earth for the Dragon Balls again, which you can find with the Dragon Ball Finder? You can save your friend and the world at the same time. Which would you do? That's right, save someone you met a couple days ago. And then the dragon breathes life into Roshi, and he comes back to life. They converse about the Dragon Balls again, and then it's all hunky-dory from there, and the credits roll. But wait, there's a mid-credits scene. What? I love heating water, but then it reveals Piccolo is alive, setting up a sequel. But no one really wanted a sequel. Oh wait, no one wanted this movie too. The entire movie is a fucking shit show of horrible writing, stilted dialogue, and mediocre choreography, but the choreography doesn't really make up a majority of the film. It's more of just dialogue. The action isn't there enough. And when the action is there, they use some of the most dated CGI ever. But if you look at a movie like Avatar that came out only 7 months after this movie came out, that movie looks infinitely better than this movie. The only redeeming quality besides the length of this movie is Master Roshi, because he barely gets any screen time, and when he's on the screen, he's at least interesting and kind of funny. The other actors are given stuff to do too, and just do the bare minimum, but when they try to overact. I prefer overacting over what we got with fucking Piccolo, because it adds personality to this movie, which this movie really lacks. This movie is incredibly bland. There are a couple good spots in this movie, I'm not gonna lie, but they just crush it later on. I wouldn't imagine anyone liking this movie, and the intended audience they tried to get, the fans of this series, saw no value in it. No one got any value from this movie, except for maybe Fox when they made the movie. The only reason this movie even exists is because it was one of the only scripts that Fox Studios had during the writer's strike of 2007. Just proving what I said earlier, no one wanted this movie, not even the people who made the fucking movie.